things to share with you. Welcome. Hello, it's Freedom Friday, and my name is Tammy Pereira, and I'm so thankful you can join me. Today, we are hitting the topic on other business models, but the system that I found that has changed everything. I have been 30 years searching for a really good business, something I can get behind and really explore all the possibilities, and I found that with digital marketing. And I want to go over the things that I've done in the past. For 30 years I have been looking for a business, and I want to take you on that journey of what that was like. If you are new to owning a business, you might want to listen in. I have several concepts and ideas I want to share with you, things you should be looking for when you're starting a new business. Okay. So, but before we get into all that, you know me, I love to share the things I'm learning. And so, welcome, welcome. I have just found the book Be All You Can Be by John C. Maxwell. It was written in 87. Okay. Yeah, I was in my 20s. I'm a very old Gen X. So John Maxwell has been in my life a long time. And if you are new to him, he is like the top guru master of leadership. And I actually, when I find an author that I like, I tend to go on my Audible and see what I can find for free. Excuse me, I love finding books that I can do and read for free. In fact, I'm taking a trip. Oh, hello, Korean. I am taking a trip, and I've been loading books onto my phone that I can listen to on the plane and during my trip. And one of them was John C. Maxwell. I came up with Be All You Can Be, and it was free on Audible. And I'm listening to it when I get ready in the morning. And I found some quotes and things. But, when you're doing Audibles, you I'm a note taker. Anybody out there a note taker? Right? Thank you. I am going to have a great time. I'm spending time with my dad and his wife in Hawaii, my first time. And I'm really looking forward to that adventure. You know what traveling with family is like. So it's going to be great. We're going to take tours and eat bunches, and I know it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm reading this book, Be All You Can Be, John Maxwell. And guys, when I say I love to learn, I have got, I don't know, one, two, three, I must have 4 notebooks on my desk. Like all I do is write. Right. I'm a print learner. I want to help myself remember it. I want to be able to go back and look, although I never go back and look because it's always the next day and there's more stuff to learn. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to share. Do you know your strengths? Do you know your strengths? If you've never taken the Clifton Strengths Finder with Gallup, you need to take your strengths. So I took my strengths, I think maybe 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And I recently retook my strengths. When things happen in your life or there's big changes, it may change you. And that's a great thing. Personally, you can use that to your advantage. Yesterday, we talked about how to break habits and start new good habits. And one of them was having fresh starts. So if you look at having an experience in your life, maybe you moved, maybe you lost a job, maybe there's a new baby in the home, something big happened. And you can use that. You can use that as an opportunity to change, right? That was out of my book, How to Change. That's what we talked about yesterday. Changing habits, changing mindsets. How do you practically do that? And have you heard this book? I just found it at the library. If you haven't heard this book, I like it because it's very scientific. Like research proves this, that, and the other. And I found this to be true. We moved to Idaho, and it was an opportunity to start over. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything about the state. For me, as someone who loves to learn, brand new opportunities to see and do things we've never done before. And that's one reason I came to TikTok. I have my TikTok family here. I have my YouTube family here. One of the reasons I started, and it's maybe 3.5 months I've been on TikTok, because it was brand new. I could come to the experience with all I wanted to bring, and I could let go of the baggage and the old stuff and be new and start fresh. That's one way to have good new habits, is find a way to do something fresh for the first time. Okay, so back to John Maxwell. Um, I found his book on Audible. It was free. And I just found it on Internet Archive. Have you heard of this site? Internet Archive. And it's the print version, right? So when I find a quote or a note, I can actually see it. That's why I'm talking about, do you know your strengths? How do you learn? And for me, I love to see it in print. It like sears into my brain differently. Anybody else? if if you understand how you learn, are you an Audible learner? My husband struggles with reading, and he found listening to books, he gains so much more because his brain doesn't have to work on overdrive to read the print, right? Do you know those strengths? So the Clifton Strengths Finder, I found that what you value becomes your strengths, and you need to use those strengths to your advantage. So, number one, there's 34 strengths. And what I found was it's important to know your top 10, maybe top 12. And what are your bottom five? The bottom five are the things you do not value. So, for me, generally it's like competition. I hate competition. It does not fill me up. And yet that's one of my husband's higher strengths. And so just even knowing that, it's really neat to see how we complement each other, right? I'm higher on the strategic thinking and creativity side, and he is very high on moving people forward, getting things done. My daughter is very high on executing strengths, getting things done the right way. She loves making checklists all the time because it just fills her up. And for me to start my day when I am learning something new, and I can't wait to share it with you, that fills me up. So work with your strengths. And then that's how you can feel more fulfilled. And then you can give to your customers out of your fullness, right? One of the things I just heard in John Maxwell's book was being fruitful is fun, right? That was the name of his chapter. And he gave a story about a man who was paid, I'm going to pay you triple your money. So whatever he made during the day, I'm going to triple it. But I just want you to stand here and take a dull axe and start hacking at a tree. And that's all you have to do today. The man's a professional with an axe. He knows how to get trees done. And what he found was, right, there's studies on this. They've done this in other scenarios. But what he found was he quit. He quit that job. And the boss was like, well, why, what made you quit? And he's like, I find it fun when I see the chips fly. And there was no chips flying when I was working on this tree with a dull axe. You have to find the fun in your job. You have to find the fun in your business. That's what helps keep you going. Yesterday, we were talking about starting good habits, starting new habits. You want to let go of something, you want to build a new habit. One, you can always start over. So that was yesterday's lesson of fresh starts. New Year's Day is always a great time, right? It's in your brain. I know this is momentous for me. I can make a change. And for me, when I've talked about shooting for your goals, and we are having unlimited arrows, and we can continuously try to reach your goals by pulling back that, and you're trying to reach for that goal, keep going and keep going. That's what fresh starts can be. I've had 7 businesses, and that's just myself. I'm not even counting the ones my husband and I have done together in the past 30 years. And you just keep starting over, keep trying again. But there's something in the habit of showing up and being consistent, but if it's not fun anymore, you you get discouraged really quickly. So, chapter 2 and how to change. She talks about bundling things to make it fun. So, you know the movie Mary Poppins, right? In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. To find the fun, and then you'll do the right. We're talking about habits. What is it you want? What is it you want to have happen? And do you have the strength and the character and the habits built in to make that happen? Or do you struggle at the first signs of problems, or the chips aren't flying? Do you start giving up? Well, what can you do to build into it? And this is what I love. She's an engineer, and she brought her engineer mind into problem solving. And so she decided, she's in her graduate program, and her name is Katie Milkman, and she said, um, I struggled going to the gym. I've had classes all day. I've got all my work to do, but what I really liked was reading novels. I like reading thrilling novels that I just can't put the book down. That was her escape. That was her joy. And she started spending more time there and not going to the gym, right? Why is it we pick the easy thing and we avoid the hard thing, even if it's good for us? So that one clue was, I'm going to bundle something I like with something that's hard for me to do. And she decided, right? This part takes character. This part is on you. You have to make that decision. But she decided, I'm going to take an audiobook and take it to the gym. And I'm going to promise myself I'm only going to delve into my love of novels while I'm on a Stairmaster or the treadmill, right? I can do it then. It's like I have my built-in reward for doing the hard thing, and I'll have more study time. It's kind of like she's bundling the good thing with the hard thing. So I want you to think about that. When there's something you're looking for, something you're wanting. I've had 7 businesses. Have you tried a business before? And how far did you get? Did you struggle? Was there issues that came up and you realized, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I'm giving up. You've got to break that habit. And how do you do that? So I want to start giving you some practical tips on how to make that mental change your mindset, and have a successful business. And what I have today is we're going to talk about a business of digital marketing versus the traditional businesses I had in the past. and they actually helped me, right? I appreciate my experiences, but I had a past that these businesses were not successful. And I actually had a statistic in my head. This is how I thought life worked. You may have heard this. Tell me if you've heard this. Half of all businesses fail. Have you ever heard that? Give me a one in the comments. Have you heard half of all businesses fail? If you go into starting a new business believing that, are you on the side that says, but half of them succeeded? Or are you on the half that says, well, oh, well, oh, well? Do you know that that statistic is technically not true? Now, one, overall, all business startups versus independent business types, right? All the statistics change. But in general, listen to this. In general, 50% of new businesses fail by their 5th year. So it's not every year 50% of businesses are failing. People weren't willing to go the distance. They gave up too soon. Now, my personal experiences, because of how the tax structure worked, you only are allowed 3 years of not making a profit before you can't claim that business anymore. So to me, the statistic kind of fits, right? If you had a year where you made a profit and then you had another year you didn't make a profit, you're at 4 years. I can see where at 5 years, okay, this is not working. And either you need to revamp and change something, or you give up and start over. That's the statistic. So, but it's your mindset. Do you understand that what you brought to the table, your belief about how business works, can affect how your business is going to work? And if you can start changing habits, if you can start changing your mindset, you're going to be better off. And then what if you had a business that helped eliminate some of the struggles, especially the struggles I had? One of my struggles is being an introvert. And I go into a business where I have to talk to a million people. That was not a good fit. I don't want to work on those strengths that are in my bottom 5 of there's relationship building strengths, and those are not in my high top strengths. So why would you pick a business that was always about relationship building? When I was in multi-level marketing, direct sales literally means person by person by person by person. You have to communicate the information one at a time. That was not one of my strengths, no matter how much I loved that product. Now, am I going to spend a lot of time fixing that in me when I don't even value that? I don't value meeting millions of people. Now, other people do. There's people with that strength. When you meet them, you know them. They love everybody and everybody's their best friend. And you're like, why do you even think that way? It's because that's what they value. That's not my top strength. All right, I want to start getting into our topic today, which is, have you tried other businesses and failed? And I want you to look at another way of doing businesses. All right, here we go. Let me get to my notes. Okay. You're going to see this. John C. Maxwell talked about it in that book. Okay. Be all that you can be. Why most businesses fail. Usually the business owner. 90% of the time, it's the business owner. They didn't have the skills to have a successful business. You need leadership skills. You need the technical skills, the ability to do the job. Are you willing to learn those things? When I started my very first business, I was a graphic artist. And I took what I did in a job that I did really well, and I took it to being a business owner and doing it for myself. And if when you lose your job, and that's where I was at the time, I lost my job and I had 2 babies. 20 months and 4 months. I had 2 babies under 2 and I lost my job. And we went from a 2-income household to 1. Have you been there? When you lose an income, it's devastating. And you're willing to try anything. You're willing to do something. Now, daycare was really expensive, so we decided not to go that route and go back to work, but instead my husband encouraged me, "Let's start a business." I've done lots of businesses. Start a business. Okay, so I go into the business and you don't realize how many hats you have to wear. You have to be the accountant and the billing and the taxes and keeping the receipts, right? Do you have that skill? When I had a job, somebody else did that. They had an accounting department, they had a personnel department, they had a sales department. All I had to do was create the thing and get paid for that. But when you have your own business, can you wear that hat? Do you have those skills to do it efficiently? What about the marketing? Oh, I struggled with that. That was the one lesson I never got. I had clients that I had worked for that were willing to take me on knowing what I could do, and I could do it really well. But I couldn't bring anybody new in. That was somebody else's job. That was our salesperson's job to bring in the new work. I didn't know how to do that. I thought, I'm so great, I'm so amazing, everybody's going to be talking about me. That's arrogance, number 1. But 2, you don't know what you don't know until you start something new, and then you realize, "Oh, I didn't know that's how it worked." That was a hard lesson to say, "I'm gonna start a business," and then I have to wear this hat and this hat. I was the delivery driver. I ran to the post office for my realtors to do their bulk mailings. A lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money. I had to buy special software, special printer, have the fax machine full of paper, right? This was 100 years ago when when I started this business. What if you had a business that had automations that did that for you? What if you were doing social media and you could promote digital products? All of these things took that pain point away. I didn't have to know everything and learn everything. All I had to do was to work on myself. I love that part. Like I told, I've got books everywhere, notes everywhere. I love personal development. And I could dive in and grow me. I did not have time to grow me when I was starting a business and 2 babies at home. Have you been there? Right? Do you see how this is really hard? And I feel for you. If you've ever read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that was my introduction to business is the best way. There's unlimited income potential. There is way more tax write-offs than just having a job. It opened my eyes to how business could be, but it didn't give me all the details. It didn't give me all the pain points and the hardships that I'd have to struggle through. That's why I loved finding digital marketing. A lot of those things were already thought of and taken care of, and I can show up 2 hours a day with my cell phone, and I get to use social media. It was a brand new world to me. So, why do most businesses fail? It's generally the business owner. They don't have the skills. When I read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it was six-figure earners and millionaire bank accounts. I want that. I can't wait to have that. That's why you're here. You want to grow your financial freedom. You want that to buy you your time freedom. Business owners want that. But at what cost? That's the one thing they're not telling you. One, you better have the skills to be a successful business owner. Well, how do I have time to do that and run the business and wear 10 different hats to make the business happen? That's why I fell in love with digital marketing. It gave me a way to have automations that were taking care of my customers in a way that I could not do hands-on all the time. Do you want that time freedom? What would that bring you? Right? I'm a grandma now. I have an aging father and I have a grandbaby. I'm right in the middle and I want to do all the things. What is it you want? What are you looking for? I will 100% say business is the best way. Owning your own business is the best way to have the financial freedom and the time freedom. But choosing the right business makes all the difference. I have a business where there's mindset training all the time. There's challenges. There's a community that will encourage you and support you. Do you have that at home now? You want to own a business. Hey, Cecil, thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Do you have um, a spouse who's like, yeah, start a business and I'm going to be there to help you. When you're getting discouraged, I'm going to be your cheerleader. I bet you a lot of you don't. I was so fortunate to have a husband who already had a business. He had a job and he had a business. And that's how we made it through those tough times of me losing my job. I appreciate that so much. But I came from a family that did not have a business. My daddy worked 9 to 5 and came home and dinner was ready at 6. And I thought that's how life was supposed to be. I didn't know any different. I was never taught financial strategies. I was never taught how to do a checkbook. I was never taught, the rule then was work hard and save. Okay. Then what? My dad was 55. He was somewhere in there. He was in his 50s. He had been at a job for 30 years. And they gave him the golden handshake and said goodbye. He floundered for a long time. He went from job to job and he was finally like, we're in Anaheim, California, and he had to commute to San Diego. I thought my husband had a commute 80 miles one way. This is all Southern California. If you've heard of LA traffic, guys, it's a thing. And my dad commuted from Orange County to San Diego County for like the last 3 years till he could finish at 62. And he's like, I'm done. with a pay cut and the commute. The company he worked for said, "No, not enough." If you had your own business, this is why I love business. You can start over all the time. You can you can try and try again and have a successful business with the right mind, with the right business, growing your skills. It's all possible. First of all, you have to believe that that's possible. I didn't know it until my husband said, "You could do this." I can. That was news to me. So I relied on his encouragement, his vision, and his support. Today I have a program that I use that has the vision, the support, the encouragement. If that's what's missing to help you get started in owning your own business, I want you to look at digital marketing. Oh, I didn't use my board today. This is me, nevertoolateincome.com. I'd love it if you'd give me a subscribe, if you would follow me on TikTok. I want to share more of this information. And so this is Freedom Friday. I'm talking about different businesses. I've had 7, and what digital marketing has to offer in comparison. So if you just want to jump ahead, you want that information now, you can go to nevertoolateincome.com. Oh, try to say that 3 times fast. Nevertoolateincome.com, and you just put your email in. And once you put your email in, you're going to hear from me and get information on the program that has made the biggest difference for me. So let me back up here. Why do most businesses fail? They might be too complicated. And I want to say that's what happened with me in my digital artist business. I wasn't prepared for all the hats I had to wear to make a successful business by myself, right? They take a lot of energy. They can be expensive. They can be time consuming. When I had that business, my very first business, and I'm going to do it on my own, I'm going to do the thing I love to do, but do everything else by myself. That was tough. And I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't have the skills to do that. Versus, right? What if you came to having done for you digital products, right? I don't have to create anything anymore. All I have to create is social media content. And I love that. I love working with the computer. I love making images and text on screen. I love all that part. I still get to be creative, but I don't have to wear all those hats to do it. I have a done for you digital product, and it's nestled right into a community of 6-figure mentors and the coaching. That's what I was missing in my first business. I didn't have someone over my shoulder saying, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that." How would that feel? Well, if you could start over today and do your business differently, what's the one thing you wish you had had? What's the one thing we wish we had just in life in general? Some guidance, right? We don't come with a manual, with the handbook. They say that all the time. Babies don't come with a manual. You have to figure it out. And after 30 years of me figuring it out, I found out what I like and what I don't like. And I didn't like wearing all those hats. I didn't have time for that. That made my job all consuming, and there was no more time. I felt like I could not tell my clients no. That was hard. I could tell my family no. Have you been there? When you get a new job or a new business and it's all consuming because you have to figure everything out on your own, and you're telling your family, dinner's late again. Um, toys all over the house, like whatever. You can't say yes to your family. Let's go to the zoo today. No, I've got this job due. I've got this due. That's not how you want your business to be. That's not what you expected it to be. You wanted that time freedom. And so I have a new business with digital marketing that offers time freedom. You can do the business, the income producing activities in 2 hours a day. And you use your cell phone and social media. And the other hats, like the accounting, like the websites, like the product, they're all done for you. And it's in automations. When your customer is ready to get that information, all they have to do is put their email in and get the information. This is not a complicated business. The digital marketing program I'm in, it has simplified things for me so easily. The system's different. I wish I had had this 10 years ago. I wish I had known this. Now, yeah, digital marketing's been around, but I didn't discover it until 4 months ago. So you're on my journey of loving how this business is so different from the others I've had. It's done for you, it's automated, minimal time requirement. That's the difference. I want you to hear me. I've had other businesses. How many of you have had a business? Do you understand the time involved, right? Have an automations in your business. What else did I say? Oh, was it done for you? And 3, minimal time. I'm going to put 2 hours a day. That's what was different for me. That's what was different for me. I've had jobs without the automations. The automations mean it's serving your customers. I love that. I've had people put their email in at midnight. They're ready for the information. They found my social media, they found my YouTube, and they decided, I want to know more about this. And the automations worked for them. I'm not awake at midnight, but they did. They were ready. They were scrolling their phone, whatever it was. And that's when they found me. Or maybe they were in a different part of the world. And that's when they found me and they wanted more information. And they plugged in and got the information that they needed when they needed it. There's no more texting and DMing and calling and trying to have three-way calls and do all these things to introduce information to them. We're in a digital world now. They can get that 24/7. And the product being done for you, the thing I love about that is it's in high demand. The stuff I could create was not in high demand. I'd rather piggyback off somebody else's awesome work and have the master resale rights to that. And that's what I promote. Done for you digital products. I get to promote education. When I say I love learning, that gets me excited. Now, I know you love making things, right? If you're like me, you're a hobbyist, maybe you're an artist or a crafter or whatever it is, right? And you're so excited about your sweet thing you made. But is it in high demand? No, it's a niche market. How much can you make from it? $9? I have a high demand product for $900. How many of my sweet little things can I make at $9? I'd have to meet a lot of people. Now, if that's what your business is and you want to learn how to promote it with digital marketing, my business can do that too. I have education on all the platforms. How to do YouTube the right way, Facebook the right way, TikTok the right way, promoting your product. If you have a business and you want to promote it, that's almost the number one thing right now. My husband was telling me about a professional archer. He loves archery. He has it like his whole life. And there was this man who's been top ranking 40 years. Anybody who knows anything about archery knows this guy, right? He's a top name. If you're brand new, of course you don't know his name. But anybody who's put in any research or effort into learning how to do archery better knows this guy. He had to start social media. It's required now. If you want to be known, you have to have a presence on social media. What if you had a done for you program that helped you learn how to do that? Guys, a lot of us Gen Xers, boomers, that's new. It was new for me just 4 months ago. And here my husband's saying, here's a guy in his 60s who had to submit to social media and he didn't know how. He just started turning the camera on and teaching. What am I doing with my bow today? How am I tuning it? What new thing am I putting on it? How are my sights lining up? He's making informational videos on that because that's where we're going. Everyone has something to share. Everyone has a story and you can put that out on social media, right? That's what I like to do. I have a little bit of my life and a little bit about my program, and I have a minimal day, 2 hours a day. I can do the business, creating content on social media, right? Guys, you're on your phone now. You are using social media now. What if you could start making an income from that? That's powerful. I make social media content. Now, granted, there was a learning curve. I had to figure it out. I had to learn the skills. But this is what set apart from my other businesses. I liked this. I get a kick out of this. This is like watching the chips fly, right? I want to see something fruitful. I want to see the reaction. I like this. And it's a joy to come every day and meet with you all. Thank you, Kareen. You're so sweet. I know I'm wrapping it up. I'm coming up on my 45 minutes. Every day my husband comes home and the dog goes bananas and I have to just log off. There's just too much chaos. So I tried to do that before. Oh, hey, Tony. Thanks, friend. You are so kind. You are so. I want you guys to look up Kareen and Tony. They are amazing. They are great digital marketers, and I've learned so much from them. That's part of the community. We get to hang with each other and chat with each other and learn from each other. I want that for you. Don't do this on your own. I want you to have a business that you can do in 2 hours a day and not make it all time consuming because you're doing everything yourself. All right. We want those automations so you can have a life, a done for you product that's in high demand that others are looking for and want, and to have a 2-hour workday. Now, granted, that's the business side. I spend more time working on my head and reading these books and my notes. I showed you all that. And if you missed it, you can go to my YouTube channel. I have the replays available, and I would love for you to comment and let me know if you find me, if you've watched the replay, type replay. And thank you all. Thank you for the follows. And I appreciate all of your time. Hey, give me a subscribe, give me a follow, and I will see you later. If you have any questions, right? Sign up, Never Too Late Income, and you'll get an email from me and I can write you back. Did you have a question? Did you have something that wasn't clear? I can help you with that. I'd love to hear from you. You're going to get an email direct from me. And it's not one of those, do not reply corporate kind of things. You're going to hear from me. And so you can reply to that email and let's work this out. Let me figure out how we can help each other. Hey, thank you, Moonchick. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. I will be at the airport tomorrow, but I've got all my stuff charged up. I got some headphones. I'm going to test them today. I'm going to see if I can go live on my travel day tomorrow because I just love spending time with you guys. This has been fun. So let's see how this works out. Otherwise, I will catch you in Hawaii and you'll be hearing the ocean next time I go live. All right. Thank you, friends. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you and Tony. You guys are amazing. I will catch you later, hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Wish me luck for that. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Friday. And thank you to my YouTube family. I appreciate you so much. If this is great information or you have more questions, put a comment. I'd love to get back to you and respond. Otherwise, have a great Friday. I will catch you tomorrow.